Hello, and welcome to this general astrological overview for the day of March 20th, 2022. So today, as we look at things earlier in the day, first of all, we can see that the moon does make a very dynamic square to potent, powerful Pluto still back here in Capricorn. And so there may be some stress and tension around the idea of transformation and confrontation with power dynamics and things of this nature today, particularly in the morning as the moon finishes up its transit through Libra. And then soon after that perfects, of course, and just before 12 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon enters deep, dark, passionate Scorpio. And so there is a shift in the energy from that more sort of lighthearted Libran vibe to the darker, more serious, more investigative and intense and getting to the bottom of things Scorpio energy for the rest of the day. And that square to Pluto, honestly, is just sort of emphasizing that and pushing that into further manifestation. Now, notice here, the sun enters Aries today. Yes, indeed. It is the spring equinox. And you can see here at 11 a.m., it's at 29 Pisces 58. And by 12 p.m., it's at 0 Aries 1. And so just before noon today, the sun makes its transition to Aries, thus signaling the beginning of Aries season. This is also another shift. We're coming out of that much more mystical and almost otherworldly, spiritual, non-physical vibe of the Piscean energy, and we're entering into something that's much more impulsive and I almost want to say primordial and initiatory and indeed very fiery, Aries being a fire sign, and kicking off that energy of spring, the sun entering Aries, signaling today as the first official day of spring, at least in the northern hemisphere. Now, I would also point out that because we still have Mercury and Jupiter and Neptune back in Pisces, that dreamy energy that we've been experiencing for some time now does not go away today. It just becomes somewhat less as this more fiery, impulsive, go-getter energy of Aries, this like do it now Aries energy becomes more. And so it's an interesting contrast because we're still in the midst of this dreamy Piscean energy, but we're also now moving into something new and wanting to push forward into a whole new cycle. You know, Aries being the first sign, at least considered by many, if not most astrologers, particularly Western astrologers, to be the first sign, although in other areas, some people will say other signs would be the first sign, but generally considered to be the first sign. Aries really has that energy of like almost the newborn baby that can't help but be highly focused upon itself. And this isn't a judgment about any Aries individuals out there. This is just saying that it is basically energy that is highly focused upon the self and like a newborn baby, like willing to explore the world and begin figuring things out for itself. And that sense of trailblazing adventure, I guess, would be another good way to convey the vibe of this Aries energy. Now, another thing that is nice, particularly for anyone out there who practices electional astrology, is that with the sun being exalted in Aries, this is a good condition for the sun. And so if you want to create any kind of electional opportunities using the sun in Aries in the next 30 days or so, this is, of course, a great time to do that. But, you know, one must also be wary of what the other planets are doing, as always, in that kind of astrology. But anyway, not to get too off track from the subject of the video here, that is basically today's energy in a nutshell. For the rest of the day, the moon continues her journey through deep, dark, passionate Scorpio, and we may even in the evening begin to feel a bit of this tension and upheaval begin to build that we'll look at more tomorrow, as the moon not only moves into this opposition with Uranus, but also a square with Mars. And this is a thing we've had going on for months and months now, this sort of upheaval energy, and it's getting triggered a little bit this evening, much more tomorrow when it perfects, and we will talk about that in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I will see you next time.